Good morning, friends. Already I have made a video on the police torture resulting in the death of a cell phone mobile shop owner Jairaj and his son Benix on June 19th. To recapitulate the things, I wish to inform you that on that particular night, even though at the time of 9 p.m., the closure time of the shops, they did not close the shop till 9:15 p.m. and there was an argument with the police, as a result of which both the father and son duo, they were taken to the police station, and with the alleged torture, they died on 22nd. Of course, in the meantime, they were being sent to Kovilpatti sub-jail and from there the government hospital. But the allegation is that they were taken to the remand or to be produced before the custody only since the health condition of theirs was deteriorating. Whatever it is, this incident sent shock waves across the entire Tamil Nadu state, and people were totally against the police, and even the famous actor Kamal Haasan, he said that the present CM Edappadi Palaniswamy, he is the prime accused, and that CM says it is a very unfortunate incident. Right? We made a video about the NHRC guidelines, the torture by the police, the case law of DK Basu versus State of West Bengal 1997, and also Joginder Singh versus State of UP. All these things we have discussed. Now, today, we will ascertain as to how powerful the rule of law is, how powerful the judiciary is, how powerful the court is. Yes, we have to accept it. Because the Madurai bench of Madras High Court, and actually traditionally they don't do, but quite contrary to the tradition, they have taken up the matter suo motu, and they wanted to hand over the investigation to the CBI, right? So after taking the matter suo motu and taking contempt proceedings against the additional SP, DSP and another person, they have sought a report from the Tamil Nadu government. This is one part. Now, the Madras High Court, they wanted to take stock of the situation. They wanted a preliminary report on the incident, and therefore they have deputed the judicial magistrate of first class of Kovilpatti to go to the police station to conduct inquiry and send the preliminary report. Right? As per the instructions, the judicial officer visited the police station, right? The additional SP, DSP and some other head constable who were present, they welcomed them. But the problem came when the magistrate asked for the handing over of records. Of course, some of the records are running records. That means you cannot stop them. They have to be run concurrently. So these records, whatever it is, there is a rift between, once again, between the police and judiciary. The police officer said they cannot hand over the records to them. They can as well take copies, for which the judicial magistrate is offended. And the other problem is, at the time of inquiry, when he was recording the statement of one head constable by name Revati, I think she has supported the allegation of torture. I think she has supported, because not much of many very lengthy statement has been recorded from Revati, right? So when the magistrate was recording, these people started hurling literally abuses against the judiciary. What these judicial officers can do? This judiciary has no other work except coming to the police station. Why should he interfere with the police administration like this? I have actually spoken in a diplomatic way. They have used the ruffian language, and this was overheard by the judicial officer, and simply he sent a report to the court, to the Madras High Court. Then, offended by the attitude of the police, immediately they took contempt proceedings under section 15 of the Contempt of the Courts Act 1971 against the additional SP, DSP and some other person, and asked them to be present before the court on 2nd June. Of course, the matter will continue. Then definitely as officers they will go and request the court that they have not done intentionally, they did not want to go against the court, all these things were there. Now, the court having been satisfied on the report of the judicial officer, then they asked the collector, they asked the revenue people to take charge of Sattankulam police station. See how bad it is. The administration lies in the hands of the police department people. Now, the police department, 24 police constables, they were en masse transferred from that place, and now the revenue people, they have taken charge, and now they have to cooperate to the judiciary in arriving at the truth or otherwise of the allegations. Right? Incidentally, Madam Kanimoli, she is the member of parliament from the Thuthukudi constituency, and she has written a letter to the National Human Rights Commission stating that while being taken from the cell shop to the police station, and in the police station, these people were tortured. The deceased duo, they were tortured. The allegations are very serious. The cops inserted sticks into the rectum, which left them bleeding till they died. Right? Very horrible situation. So this is the main allegation, right? So, and the post-mortem certificate, the preliminary PMs, it also indicated that there were some ante-mortem injuries. Ante-mortem injuries means injuries caused before death. After death means post-mortem injuries. So definitely dangerous. Ante-mortem injuries, and the statement of Head Constable Revati, she is the woman Head Constable, and this all the records, number one, post-mortem, preliminary report of the post-mortem, report of the judicial officer, and then the statement of say called Head Constable Revati, they are sufficient to prove the prima facie case that the section of law should be altered to 302 IPC. Actually, they might have registered the case under section 176 CRPC, that is suspicious death in police custody. So now the section has been altered to 302. Previously the Tamil Nadu administration, police department, they have suspended 2 SIs and 2 head constables, including 5th man. CA also suspended. Now, yesterday, 2 SIs and the CA, they have been arrested by the CID after the altering the section of law to 302 IPC. Right? Now, the Madras High Court has given directions to the judicial officer that the statement of Revati should be recorded under section 164 CRPC. That is for strengthening the prosecution case. 164, why do you get the statements recorded 164? Only to strengthen the prosecution. So then safety of Revati is important, including her family members. Therefore, she must be granted leave, and she must stay at a place where she likes, as the court fears that there will be an attempt to intimidate her and make her turn hostile, make her resign from her previous version. Right? So definitely. In other countries like USA, there is an act called as Victims Protection Act. But unfortunately in India, there is no such act. Therefore, the Honorable Court, Madras High Court, directed the police to give sufficient security protection to Revati, who became definitely a witness to the court. Right? Then, the judicial officer who visited the police station, he reported that the police are attempting to cause disappearance of evidence. Normally, when once the matter is reported to the center, the CBI, for CBI to take charge or to take up investigation, it may take some more time. In the time, definitely the local police may cause a disappearance of the evidence, because these Tamil Nadu police, particularly the area, they are emboldened to intimidate the judicial officer, and actually they are trying to put a spoke in the wheel of the inquiry. Of course, he has written in a beautiful language. Anyway, they are causing obstruction to his inquiry. Right? Then To preserve the evidence till such time, the court appointed CBCID DSP Anil Kumar as the IO till the CBI takes up the matter. Right? Then yesterday, additional SP Mr. Gopal or somebody, DSP Anil, okay, some other name. They have appeared before the court and filed apology affidavits. Right. Additional Advocate General, he says two constables and SIs, they were also transferred. Of course, this is not to the satisfaction. Now, the CBCID will continue investigation till CBI takes over. So, as a part of the continuous investigation, now they altered the section of law to 302 and arrested the inspector and two sub-inspectors who are basically responsible for the custodial death. And now please remember, while handing over the investigation to DSP Anil Kumar, the court has written like this: Mr. DSP, you will have before your mind, the eye of the river of tears flowing from the victim's family, and you should investigate the case in all earnest to wipe out their tears. Right, you understood? So the river of tears, right, continuous flow. Anyway, this is exclamatory, I think, not this is exclamatory sentence and but whatever it is, court took it very seriously. Now, you must be careful. The police officers should be careful while dealing with the judiciary. So here they may be under the impression that the judiciary just they can give some instructions or guidelines. What if we don't follow? Now this is the result, and that's why please remember Article 50 of the Constitution. So doctrine of separation of powers. Judiciary is totally powerful. You can't escape the clutches of law. You have to follow the rule of law. Maybe a police officer, maybe a senior police officer. Definitely, you should not allow the low cadre people to talk as they like, and this has created the problem. Of course, the sentiment of the people or the emotions behind the same and the commotion it caused is on one part it's okay, but at the same time the behavior of the police, the attitude of the police, this has totally changed the scenario, and now they are in trouble. Previously they were suspended, now they are arrested. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. So you take the example, emergency time, Rajan case in Kerala, it has languished in the courts for 20 years, but still when the judgment came, the police officer, they were sentenced to life. There are so many instances like that. So please remember DK Basu versus State of West Bengal, Joginder Singh versus State of UP cases, and follow the guidelines. And for law students, it is a very beautiful case where you can say that judiciary is powerful, judiciary is separate, judiciary is independent, and at least the people can see some solace in the actions of the judiciary. Right? Thank you very much.